How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? What's the real truth about Citizen Kane?
It'll probably turn out to be a very simple thing.
Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I'm Parker.
And I'm Mac.
Welcome back to another episode of Better Than Citizen Kane, the highly subjective show where we look at a movie and ask that titular question. Because when every movie ever made is a reasonable contender for the title of greatest film of all time, you have to wonder, better than Citizen Kane.
And if you can believe it, Parker's considering renaming the show. If you do rename the show, Parker, what would you call it?
Well, Parker's Podcast, or Parker Podcast, or Podcast Parker.
Yes, that might be just the name for it. It says it all. This week we're leaving Houston and heading for Scotland as we try to convince our listeners to sell us their land in exchange for a discussion on Bill Forsyth's local hero, 1983. Mm-hmm. This is maybe, and I don't think our audience would ever know this, but this is the episode we have been seeding the most.
That's true.
Potentially since we started the show.
Yeah, it's been in the roster
as far as just
often.
Like this has somehow become one of the movies that you and I quote the most in our friendship. Mm-hmm. But it's not like this is like a laugh out loud quotable, capital Q quotable movie. It just worms its way into your brain and your heart, maybe.
It does.
I don't know.
I've made Max personalized custom memes from this movie. I've done audio shit posts of line deliveries from this movie.
It's true, and I loved it, and I almost made that the intro. Not that clip, but I was almost like, okay. Which, watching it again this time, I'm like, that is the briefest moment.
Yeah,
it is so not
quick.
A punchline.
It's a nothing. It is incidental. Ellie and I have, through osmosis, Ellie and I say, okay, and I like that a lot. Like, Ellie says that completely divorced from context, because like they've seen this movie once. You know?
And they were like 3.5 stars. Why was it so? Truly, this is a movie for us. This is a big movie for us in our friendship, which I think is beautiful. Mm-hmm. This is one of those movies that we can talk about, like when we talk about our history, but the movie, it basically starts with each other. Yeah. Which I don't know how many of those there are in this podcast canon. Because your journey begins with my journey, I believe, with this movie, which is that it was October of 2022.
That sounds right.
And there was a Criterion flash sale. Mm-hmm. And you were getting stuff. And this might have been one of the times that you texted me, like, do you want me to throw anything in for you and you can pay me for it? Just so we could get the free shipping. And I was literally scrolling through the Criterion collection alphabetically, just like looking for anything that I'd seen that I was like, oh yeah, that. Yeah. And the Criterion cover of this movie stood out to me because it's blue. And there's shooting stars in a red telephone box. And I went, well, that looks like
Max in a telephone box?
And I literally looked at it and I texted you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I've never seen this. Do I blind buy it? Yeah. And you were like, I wouldn't. Like, you were very gentle. You were like, I think if you want to watch, I think that's great. I think you should check it out at the library. And I think you should watch it.
Yes.
And I was like, okay. Because, friend of the show, Jake Nordfeld, he'll blind buy things on our recommendations.
Yes.
And I was tempted to blind buy. He is, and I love that. And I was tempted to blind buy based on my own recommendation of, that looks nice to me.
Right.
And yet, Parker, you were wrong. Because I could have blind bought this, I suppose. Mm-hmm. But I didn't. Instead, I rented it from the library, as Parker had suggested, and I am prone to do. Mm-hmm. And I watched it on an October night. This broke up. I watched like a horror movie for every day. Not every single day of October that year, but for every day. I watched 31 movies that month or something. And this is one of like the few that broke up the October spooky season marathon. And I was like, whoa. And I think I tried to force a 5-star on my first watch. Do you ever watch a movie that you want to love?
Yeah, constantly.
So you're like, it's 5 stars. And then like a month later, you're like, okay, let's calm down.
Let's be.
I know that we were like hoping for a new favorite movie.
Yeah.
I brought it home and I showed it to my parents. And they were mostly indifferent. They were just like, yeah, was nice. Whatever. They kind of, I think my dad has now admitted that he fell asleep. So I watched it then, and I was like, okay, 4 stars. And then I showed it to you. Yeah. I believe, right? And that would have, I think that was like the following March.
It was March 2023.
And what do you remember of watching this the first time?
I just remember finding it very wholesome. Like it had a very nice feel to it. Like literally my review at the time was, how did they capture the ache so well? And I was like, yeah, like that's this movie, as it has a yearning to it. There is a melancholiness to this movie.
And a coziness to it.
Yeah.
It's truly
like melancholy in the most like classical sense of that word.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
The original definition.
Oh, for sure. We watched it then. A few months later, Hard Times in the Life of Parker.
Indeed.
You came over to my apartment, and we wanted to watch something, we weren't really sure what to watch, and we just watched this. Just put this on. We're like, that sounds nice.
That sounds like
and kind of, I think that, and I might be wrong, but I feel like that did kind of cement for us, like, comfort movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I watched it 3 times that year.
Yeah.
Like, you showed it to me, we watched again in June, and then November. And in the November watch is when it jumped from 4 to 4.5 for me.
Yes.
Like, that's where that shifted in.
It's a nice November cozy movie, which is something that we've spent a lot of time discussing, even on this show. It fits in November. We also found out, somewhere around then, that one of our shared film professors, in fact, the professor of the class in which we met, watches this movie every New Year's Eve.
This is his and his wife's New Year's Eve watch.
So it's just kind of at multiple levels. It's baked into I don't know, our relationship to one another, I suppose.
I'm fairly certain I put it in for one of my like, because I did my Halloween movie nights for 2 months. I did those 2 months in a row, and then I would do a November-December lineup, which was like half Christmas, half transitionary movies. And one year, I know I put this in the rotation, and we watched it.
I believe it was 23.
Probably would have been. Probably would have been 23.
Well, because then you had moved by the next year.
Oh, that's true. That's a very good point. Yes, you're absolutely right. It was
2023 was a long year. It feels like 5, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember being nervous bringing this to movie night at your place. Like, we agreed, we were like, and this will be a great November slot. But I was like nervous because I'm like, well, I really love this movie and I want everyone else to like it too. And I was so pleased that everyone left that screening very happy.
Yeah, people enjoyed it quite a bit.
Because and we'll talk about this. I did my research. I paid my dues on this one. This is one of my favorite movies. It is currently my number 1 on Letterboxd. I've seen it 10 or 11 times, and it is my number 1 in my 4 favorites. Like, this has just slotted itself very nicely into my favorite movies. Which is not surprising, but also is kind of surprising because I think this movie is kind of a magic trick in the sense that it is not the funniest thing you've ever seen.
No.
It is not the prettiest thing you've ever seen. It is not consistently the strongest written thing you've ever heard. Like, it is not, quote unquote, we're bringing it to the show, one of the greatest movies ever made.
There's nothing extraordinary about this film, I think.
And yes, exactly. And yet, the feeling that I leave this movie with is so big. And kind of complex every time that I'm like, this is kind of a testament to the movies that we occasionally end up bringing to the show, which is like, this movie is not Citizen Kane.
No.
And yet it packs such a punch and such a delight.
It has a power to it.
It has a power to it.
It has
to the
a power
point.
To it.
Yeah, I mean, it has a power to it. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really lovely. I do, as we're kind of talking about this, I just want to bring up the point that I'm thinking of from my research, which is I watched a 50-minute behind-the-scenes feature on YouTube for this movie, which is kind of interesting. It was filmed at the time of production, like mainly in one scene, and it's kind of through the lens of a TV. It's like a TV special.
Oh.
It's like a local hour-long TV special looking at the entire production of this movie, which is kind of interesting. Or at least there's like a talking head talking over this, and it looks like he's in a newsroom. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know where this thing
Interesting.
came from. But the idea starts with producer David Putnam, who it like opens with him saying, "There's room for a gentle comedy." I think what's happened is Americans have redefined comedy ever since probably Blazing Saddles. And comedy has gone down a very specific direction, and it's continued on that road. Now comedy's become synonymous with zaniness, so I thought there was a gap for a gentle comedy, the type of comedy I was brought up on. Which I think is exactly the way to put it. This is a gentle comedy. And I do believe like this existed more. I mean, it's something that I think the UK film industry, like the British film industry, did do a lot of in the 40s and 50s of like these kind of more, just kind of like, like it's like, this is a lot more classical of a comedy.
Totally. Like
than I think.
Totally. Like as you're talking about this, I don't know why this doesn't feel entirely applicable, but like just when I think about this movie has no hard edges. Like it's like a skipping stone. Like all of the corners of this thing are rounded, and it's soft to hold, and just like it's gentle. Like it's just sort of like, oh yeah, like look at this thing. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, you know.
And there's like, you look closer and there's a little bit of sparkles in it, but it's not like something that someone would take to a museum and be like, look at this gorgeous stone I found. It's just something neat that you find on the beach and take home with you.
Exactly.
Which this movie is very much indebted to as a concept. What would you say, Parker, for those who maybe aren't familiar? I imagine this is an episode that people, if they are to listen to our show without watching a movie, this is a likely candidate.
Yes.
What would you say this movie is about, both lowercase a and capital A? Like, plot-wise, it is about a Texas oil man who comes to Scotland to broker a deal for an oil refinery and quickly finds that the community is more willing than he was expecting. But will his opinion change on his quest, right? Yes. That's kind of the basic
Pretty
plot.
much.
But like for you, like what would you say it's about? Capital A.
I think it is about like it feels like such a prescient view of where the 80s are going to go culturally, right? Like something like this film feels like it should be an early 90s film in the way that it is completely deconstructing the Wall Street yuppie, greed is good, Gordon Gekko mentality of life, right? Like this movie feels so squarely like in its crosshairs is these kinds of guys are completely disconnected from what life actually is, right? And the movie illustrates that in so many ways, but I think that like maybe the best visual metaphor for that is that Mac is having a phone call conversation with the guy in the next room who we can see and he can see, right? Like he's maybe 25 feet away from him. And it's like, oh, that is a perfect visual metaphor for the level of disconnect this specific time in America had,
Yes. Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. I think that is one of my many reviews of this movie said, like, I love this cozy anti-capitalist visual satire because there is satire in the text of this.
Yeah.
But a lot of its most successful satire is purely visual, which I think is interesting because, again, this is not shot in a way that is flashy. No. This is not shot in a way that you're like, why'd they do that? It's just shot well.
Yeah.
And from those good shots, you discern a lot of like the meaning. It's not on the nose, but it also is just like, it's not harsh. Like you said, there's no sharp edges, and that applies to its metaphors as well. Yeah. Like it is not punching you.
No.
Right?
Well, exactly. Like you talking about like it's not punching you. There's no sharp edges. Like the cultural critique here is not like barbed. It is not like, and we're sticking it to this guy. We're completely like, it is anti-capitalist in the way that a tree is anti-capitalist. Like I don't know what else to say. Like it's just kind of like passive. It is a passive, just like examination. Just like, Yeah, isn't that a crazy way to live?
Yes.
Like, that's it.
I love that. I think that's a great metaphor for this movie and a great great comparison. Because, like, so much of this movie, like, the best parts of this movie, in my opinion, are, like, Mac and Gordon. We're just diving right into these guys. These are our friends. We know these guys.
Yeah, we know these guys.
Mac and Gordon walking, like they say, let's take a walk. And then it's them walking through the most gorgeous sunset on, like, a cliffside overlooking a beach.
Yeah.
And they're just like, so, how much do you think this is all worth? And it's like, well, I think, like... And they're, like, so hesitant to say the numbers.
They're talking about usable land in that scene.
Yes.
Which I love. So he's like, what is the word they use? Because, like, he's like the useless land. Like, he's like, from, like, the shore up to the rocks, is like, it's basically useless.
That's useless. The foundation won't be good for the refinery.
And it's like calling this gorgeous beach useless is crazy.
And then at the end of that scene, the button on that scene is Gordon saying, it's a lovely evening, though. Yeah. Right? Like, isn't that like...
And, like, same sort of thing. There's a scene with Mac and Danny, and they're going down the... is that Peter Capaldi? Yes. Okay,
Danny Olson.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Olson. Danny. Hello. Danny.
Hello. I'm going to be the doctor.
And he said that. And Bill Forsyth was like, I know you're a big fan. You can't say that.
He's like,
no, it's true. I've seen the future.
It's true. You don't know. But they're also having a beachside stroll on a sunset, and they're just talking about, like, can you imagine a world without oil? And they're just talking about all the things you can make with oil. And it cuts to this wide shot, which is your background on Letterboxd, and is an incredible shot of just the most stunning colors you've seen. And it's just like, oh, is there oil in nylons? I didn't know that. Like,
there is. My other favorite thing about that scene is they say they're listing things that wouldn't exist without oil. And one of the things is like waterproof, clothes or whatever, waterproof chemicals or whatever. And then, like, the next day they're walking on the beach and he's like, look at those birds. They look like seagulls. It's the way Peter Reichert says it that I love. Yeah. And Peter Capaldi's like, I don't think they're seagulls. They're too small to be seagulls. He's like, and they're gray. Are they wet? And he's like, no, they're probably waterproof birds. He's like, you get waterproof birds? He's like, oh yeah, sure you do. And I'm like, that is an example of a natural thing. Like, if that were true, that is an example of a natural thing that just the night before they're like, well, that wouldn't exist without oil. And I'm like, that's not unintentional.
No, not at all.
But also, the scene that you're talking about is the scene that I just am talking about is they're walking back along the beach the next day. They're going to go visit the reverend of the church, Mardo, which is a great little scene. I mean, it's kind of the most directly comedy scene in the movie. Yeah, right? So. Like, it has the biggest comedy. It has the biggest comedy line and the biggest visual gag. But it's when they're walking away from that discussion, right before all of the villagers come out of the church. And I mean, I know you love that.
It gets me every time.
I do too. It's so funny. Peter Capaldi's face is great. But it's as they're walking away that the planes come back over and bomb. And it's after Mac has said, it's like both meanings of the movie in one line, where Mac says, like, I really don't see why I have to be here. I'm more of a telex man. I could have this whole deal wrapped up in an afternoon over the wire. And then and then the planes come over and bomb something, and he goes, it's a shame about those jets though. They really ruin a nice area.
They really,
and it's like, you're like,
it's crazy. It's
But that is just one line that paints the entire movie's picture for it of like, one, why am I here? And then two, like, I could just do this on my phone. And then two, being like, those jets really ruin a nice area. And I'm like, do you know what you're here to do?
And Daddy's response was, it's a crime. It's so funny. Like, it just, this movie, it is so blatant in its satire and cultural critique. And yet that isn't like, the filmmaking and the cinematography does not give weight to those lines and those moments.
And neither do the performances. No. You watched that, like, behind-the-scenes acting thing. And what was the advice that Bill Forsyth gave Peter Reichert that was so interesting to us? It was like... It's like, say every line like you're dead in the eyes or something like that, right?
Like it just, I wish I could have brushed up on it before this, but yeah, it's something along like it's just completely counterintuitive to what like you would normally want out of an actor.
Do not say it like it's funny. Don't even deliver it like you're acting. Like say it in the most
like say like you've been awake for like 3 days. You know, like just no nothing behind it, no juice, no sauce.
Right, and it works.
Yeah.
It works really well, especially for Mac. And like is kind of maybe the reason we quote those lines so much. It might because it quietly becomes like the funniest part of the movie is just that almost everything is super underplayed.
Yeah.
Of just like, I don't know, he feels like a real guy.
What was the Peter Capaldi story of like he comes in and he's like
it's them. I think it's them coming out of the hotel after the first night there.
Yes,
because this is Peter Capaldi's first acting role ever. He is so young in this, and he was just in a band. Like literally, the casting director saw him performing in his band with Craig Ferguson, the Dream Boys, in Glasgow, and like picked him up from that. This is his first time acting ever, and at one point, they're coming out of the hotel, and he's like doing this really big, noticeable yawn.
Yeah.
And Bill Forsyth like stops and goes to him and is like, "So why are you doing that?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I just want the audience to know that it's the morning," or something like that. And Bill Forsyth is like, "Well, we'll be cutting. They know. Like they'll know it's the morning. You don't have to do that." It's so delightful. And like Capaldi is God bless him, is a great example of like, that shouldn't work. No, like his performance as Danny Oldson shouldn't work at all. And there's like one or two lines that I'm like, all right, man. But at the same time, the movie just kind of gets away with that for me. Like that's not why this is my favorite movie of all time. It is still 4.5 stars with a heart because even though it's my favorite movie of all time, I have like, there is literally one line in this movie,
I know exactly what it is.
Kills the joy for me.
I know exactly what it is.
And there's like a few others that I like struggle with, but have come around to.
Yeah.
But like all this to say that like Peter Capaldi's performance is not the reason it's not 5 stars, because somehow it's so charming and like blatantly amateur that it's just charming. It's just
every time we show this movie to people, regardless of how they feel about it as a whole, regardless of like what their reaction to it, consistently everybody cracks up at the way he runs. Like every single time, everybody is just like, why is he running like that? And it works. It works for this character. And it's the most awkward choice you've ever seen, but it works.
I don't know if it's a choice, to be real. I've seen him run in Doctor Who. They make a joke about it. But man, it's so bizarre. His performance is so weird. Let's get into the summary a little bit more.
Yeah,
so let's just because I just have things to say about every scene in this movie, course. So we might as well. But first, before we do that, let me just wrap up research really quick before we get too far. So Putnam's the one who brings Forsyth on. Forsyth had just made his first, or I guess it's his second feature called Gregory's Girl, which did fairly well for what it was. Putnam, as a producer, is coming off of Chariots of Fire.
Okay.
So this has like some weight to it, not like the biggest weight, but some expectation, especially in the part of Putnam. Because Chariots of Fire won the Oscar, I believe.
Believe so, yeah.
Yeah, if nothing else, for that song. And no one actually remembers what that sounds like anymore, obviously. But this is inspired by a newspaper story about a Scots accountant who, in his part-time, negotiated probably the best deal the British National Oil Corporation ever negotiated. And Bill Forsyth just kind of loved this idea of these American oilmen from Texaco having to sit around in the Aberdeens waiting for this to go through. He's like, what was that about? Also felt the idea of a small community who were suddenly millionaires overnight. There's room for comedy there. And he really was drawn to like things you can't do in Houston is like get your feet wet on the beach and see the stars. Those are things you cannot do in Houston, right? Like maybe he put his feet in the swimming pool, but he's never gotten his feet wet on the beach, especially not a beach like in Scotland. And this was really interesting to me, Parker, because I this taps into what I've realized I love about this movie is Forsyth became interested in the idea of trying to make a film which was cosmic, in some ways addressing itself to something beyond, but didn't involve hardware like spaceships or little monsters or things like that.
Fascinating.
Which I do love. I mean, that's something I'm drawn to in music as well. My dad and I often talk about songs from the 80s that sound like they are being sung into space. Like, I love that. And this movie certainly feels like a movie that is being played into space, right?
I completely agree.
And so they were very bullish about the cost, and yet still they were turned down everywhere they went, including EMI. It wasn't financed at all until the night of the British Awards, which is basically when Burt Lancaster comes aboard, is like, they just like shoot their shot, right? And he comes over to, I can't remember the story, but he comes over to them and is like, yes, I'll do it, you know, or whatever he says.
Crazy.
But they said, the interviewer in this behind the scenes asks Putnam, like, well, what were they saying about the pitch? Like, why didn't they want it? They said it was too gentle, that there was a lack of confrontation. Everyone in the film is basically nice, which they thought would give it a lack of dynamic. And he also said that Bill's humor off the page is hard to read. Additionally, there was just kind of the biggest criticism, which is, why aren't you making Chariots of Fire 2? Like, or whatever the version of that would be. Or in Bill's case, why not Gregory's Girl Returns? Like, why are you guys doing this instead of like a natural progression from what you just did?
Right.
So they ended up getting backing from, I think, Gold Coast is what it was called, or Gold Coast backing, which is an independent British production company. So they got like £2.5 million and a 9-week shooting schedule. The spring weather made it a little hard to bank on shooting dates, but they got through it. Each day, the cast and crew had to be driven 40 miles to the beach from the nearest hotels. But it was important, they felt, that they shoot in a place where a refinery is unthinkable. Like, it's crucial that the audience immediately sees, like, why would you build that here? Like,
just
what are
no
you talking about?
whatsoever.
Which is, again, like, that's kind of this movie's biggest, not even really a secret weapon, but it's just any wide shot is making the case against your characters and gets the audience on your movie's side ultimately, right? Like, you don't have to have dialogue that is direct when it's just you let the scenery do the talking for you, right? And so there's a great interview, a very brief interview with Burt Lancaster, where he says, I think most actors will tell you that good scripts are rare. This is a lovely, lovely script, beautifully written, wonderful touch of very light satiric comedy. It's really nice, and I'm delighted to be doing it. It's like what he says on the beach. They got this interview. They're shooting the ending of this movie, basically, on the beach, and just got these interviews. Forsyth said that he started hearing Lancaster's voice as he was writing Happer, and he just couldn't shake it. So this was like his only pick for Happer. He's like, we have to get Burt Lancaster.
We've got to get Lancaster.
And they also got Chris Menges, who was one of Britain's leading directors of photography at the time, and then they listed his credits, and I went, I don't know what any of those are, but I believe you. And he had this to say. He said, what we're about is trying to capture the script in a very gentle way. It probably isn't visually exciting in a graphic sense, but in a sense of perhaps the early cinema, say like in France in the 50s, where there is a way of looking and holding and trying to get a sense of timing that's almost as important as the lighting and graphic content we're maybe more used to seeing and doing and making. Which I thought was a very valid point.
That's so interesting, because something I was going to bring up about the cinematography, and it ties in really nicely here, is that, like, what we consider to be like modern versions of like make it cinematic, right? Like if you watch a YouTube video of like how to make your videos cinematic, like a huge thing people talk about is shallow depth of field, right? Like that's a big thing in like the past 30 years of cinema that has become shorthand. This movie is almost all deep focus. Like you can see so much of this movie all of the time. And I like in my brain, I really can't think of anything that is shallower than like Mac in the telephone booth, where the background is a little out of focus outside, you know?
Yeah.
Like there are close-ups in this movie, but they still have depth behind them, which is a very classical way of shooting something.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And like, it seems like they were very aware of that and were just like, that's what they were chasing, rather than trying to make something that looked as pretty as possible. Again, just being like, we're here. We have the landscape. Like, if we just shoot this, he says later, where is it? Oh, come on. He said basically, He said basically like, we can just shoot this. Oh, I can't find it. But he said like, well, we're just shooting this. We're trying to. Oh, I already read it. We're trying to capture the script in a very gentle way. Yeah. There it is. I already read it.
Yeah.
But he also said that the absolute vital thing is to have them against the sky or sea. Like anytime we're in those locations, like that is the backdrop, right? Not the beautiful greenery. It is the sea and sky. Sea and sky. I like that.
I like that.
Forsyth mentioned he seems to get light coming out of objects rather than light hitting them, which is what Twilight in Scotland is all about, which I think is kind of a beautiful notion.
I like that.
I learned that, at the end when they're walking away with Happer after he arrives on the beach, and Danny's carrying all the luggage, and he like stumbles, and without missing a beat, Peter Riegert just goes, "Jesus, Danny, come on, carry that stuff." That was just not scripted. That is the take in which Peter Capaldi stumbled and Forsyth didn't yell cut, and just in character Riegert just said that. Come on, really, Danny, good. Carry that stuff.
Carry that stuff.
Which is really funny because I've always caught that. This is really interesting. I thought you'd really appreciate this, Parker. Forsyth also said you can either edit a script or shoot an awful long script and edit the film. There were things in the script that it was difficult to put a value on, what was strong and what was weak. So Forsyth thought it was pretty sensible to shoot everything they had and then decide at the editing stage. And he felt it was the right thing to do because there were these tiny things that didn't really read like much on this page, which turned out better and funnier and stronger in the film than something that looked better on the page.
I like that. That's very interesting.
Which I think is really interesting because that kind of goes against any notion that I have of like, if your script's long, like you're not shooting that whole thing. Like you need to cut that down. It also kind of reminded me of it's different in philosophy, I think, but it reminds me of, the Apatow era of studio comedies in the 2000s of like, we're just going to roll and you guys can just improvise and then we'll just cut something together.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is completely different because they wrote a long script and then shot that whole thing and then cut stuff at the end when they knew how it was going to feel on film. But it did kind of remind me of that, of just like, when you're writing something, especially in the case of this movie, like, like even Putnam mentioned it at the top, is like Bill's writing didn't read super funny off the page.
Yeah. But
like if you were familiar with his films or if you just like kind of trusted him, then you could see how it could work. And I think that it's funny that Bill Forsyth also felt similarly of like, he's like, I know some of this stuff isn't like the strongest, but I think we still should shoot it just to see.
Right.
And like, that's just like a really kind of, I admire that a lot of just having kind of the guts to just be like, I believe in what I wrote and we're going to shoot it. And then at the end, I'll decide if it was worth shooting,
Yeah, totally. And I mean, obviously this wasn't intentional on their part at the time, but like in retrospect, it does add more to that classical quality because deleted scenes kind of don't exist anymore. Like it's something where like, obviously part of that is a loss of physical media and not having home releases with bonus features. But even then, like looking into more modern films, it's a difference in approach of like, we're not going to waste time shooting something that isn't going to go into the final movie, right? Like it's going to be it's a much more involved pre-production process in modern filmmaking than it was before. And I think that before it was there was more of a feel of that, which is why a lot of these movies, back when we had DVDs, like you would have a collection of bonus features that with deleted scenes of like, these are things we shot that ultimately like didn't, landed on the cutting room floor, but like were in the script originally and then got pared down. And it feels like that approach to filmmaking has kind of become vintage and classical in its own way.
Right. I mean, also just like nowadays, we don't even really have limitations on how long something can be, really.
Totally.
Right. And it's kind of like, if you're going to make something long, you're going to make something long. But also, I think that this also highlights, again, what makes this movie so interesting to watch as a comedy, because they went in intending it to be a gentle comedy and then weren't afraid to shoot small moments.
Yeah.
That end up staying in the film and kind of giving this movie its magic. Because again, like, there's just so many funny little moments and line deliveries in this. Like when Mac goes into the phone booth after he gets the bar, gives him the tens, and he goes in with that guy, walks him across the street. Yeah. And like the way, it's such a weird little moment because again, it's not like a full punchline, but it's just him going in and being like, yes, thank you. Like, I'll see you later. And the guy goes, oh, why? And he stands there and he goes, no, later I'll see you. And he goes, oh, okay, yeah. And then he walks away. And it's like, what even is the joke there? There isn't really one. but it's funny anyway. Like it's just because like there's just this funny little like whatever the miscommunication was like.
There's a lot of moments like that in this film where, not necessarily that one specifically, but jumping off of that point, there's a lot of stuff where we're just capturing a moment in the middle. We don't get a lead in and we don't get a lead out, right? Like the one that comes to mind is Mac talking to the fisherman and he just has his little piece of cardboard with a money symbol. He's like, well, what about one like right here? He's like, no. And like, there is no lead into that. Like we don't get the conversation of like, I want to show you, maybe you should put this on your boat, right? Like, and we're just dropped into the middle of that for no reason. And then we leave it immediately.
It's kind of Fast Timesy a little bit in the sense of like it's vignette-y, you know, but it's not trying to be a vignette. It's not trying to be documentary.
Right.
But it kind of has that energy too of just like, here's a little moment that we captured happening, but it was scripted. And that's what's so interesting to me about it. I think you're absolutely right of like, there's just kind of moments that exist rather than like, here's the setup or here's the lead in.
Yep.
And here's the button, we're out. It's just kind of like things progress and we're just going to them.
Yeah. The villagers all talking about the, competing use cases for different sports cars is another one that gets me a lot.
There's that really long
space.
line.
There's adaptability.
Yeah, there's that really long line where he's like, I'd like to see it try fit in, and he just says like a bunch of things in the back of your Maserati, you know?
Yeah.
But then also that scene, that's kind of one of the few kind of lead-ins that we also get, because isn't that when, and this is another like testament to this movie's just kind of like confidence in a way of like, after they've set up Ricky being the guy on the motorcycle going past, they get to the point where we are just on a corner and you hear the motorcycle approaching, you hear like a skirt, and then like Mac just appears from around the corner, like kind of stumbling. And it's like, no, we just fill in the gap. Like,
we know what
he
happened.
Almost got hit by this motorcycle. We know what happened, right? And this, the way he walks over to them. Oh, man. Okay. We'll get into the story. But I think, Warner Brothers actually did end up buying this for the U.S. and Canada distribution within a week of them starting principal photography, having turned it down as a film in the pitching stage.
Interesting.
So it's like they didn't want to make it.
Yeah.
But then the minute it was in the moment, they were like, okay, we'll distribute it.
Interesting. Very interesting.
And then I just have some like other notes of like the concept of the abusive psychiatrist, which is the weirdest B-plot in this movie.
Strange B-plot.
And it wraps up in such a weird way, and we'll talk about it. But like that was Bill Forsyth didn't invent that. He heard a story at the time of a plastic surgeon who had hired someone to come in and be mean to him because he was like too high on his own supply or something.
That's so funny.
The inside of Happer's office set was in Scotland. They filmed all the stuff in the office in Scotland, but all the rest in the office building was shot in America, which I think is like interesting just because I'm like, I don't think it actually like, creates a difference in the field, but it is kind of interesting that like Happer's office does exist in this midpoint between Scotland and America. The staircase that Mac ascends into Happer. Oh yeah. So let's just get into the summary really quick. We open on Mac driving to work. The radio's on. And there's just kind of like, it's just being thrown at you really brash and loud. Yeah. What I love is that the track being called Freeway Flyer, because Parker and I do both own this score.
Shout out
on
to
vinyl.
Mark Knopfler. I mean, is that that's how you say it?
I think it's Mark
I've never
Knopfler.
said. I've never said it out loud.
He's the guitarist for Dire Straits. And this
also
is his first. This is his first film score. It's his first solo project. And he later went on to do Princess Bride. But I love the way that Freeway Flyer transitions from being Mac's radio to the backtrack for the Knox Oil and Gas promo video, which also, I think the thing that immediately gets people our age nowadays on this movie's side is the really ominous line of like a Knox Oilman like knows that you have to do it this way, and he's like, because he knows that a little time is all we've got. And it's like, it's kind of like surprising because you're like, do you mean by that?
Do you mean what I think you mean?
What we think you mean? Yeah. Like, is that really what you mean? And this is also, I guess, one of kind of the more stronger, just like what you picture when you picture a comedy version, like a comedy movie. is just going to a board meeting where Happer is asleep.
Yeah.
And they have to whisper the rest of the board meeting.
Like, it's, I think, such a good flag post of this movie's sense of humor is that, like, him falling asleep in the meeting feels like the starting point for a lot of comedic bits, right? It was like, okay, but what are we going to do with this? And this movie's solution to that is for everybody to whisper and no one addresses it. Like, nobody
no one addresses it.
Yeah.
And he never wakes up. It's just the rest of the scene. But also is so fitting for this movie's tone in the sense that the first joke in the movie is a whisper.
Yeah.
It's like, we are gentle here. Like, we are going to be having a nice time.
Yeah.
We are not going to be yelling that much.
And the things that they say in this meeting are wild. Like, when you actually, like, listen to what they're saying, like, you know, what's going on. He's like, we're not in a third world situation here. It's like, what are you talking about?
Especially speaking of the history between Knox Oil and Gas and Scotland as a country.
Well-established allies to the U.S.
Yeah. It's, like, wild. And I just love the way that they're like, we need to get a man on that ground as soon as possible. Hard cut to just, we don't get an introduction to Mac.
No.
He's just like, wow, I'm going to Scotland. Well, no, in his first scene, it's him being like, I just don't see why I have to go there.
Yeah.
And then you have that guy going, "This won't be like Mexico, McIntyre." Like the wildest, deepest voice of
crazy.
all time.
Like, it just sounds like he does trailers.
And also, this time I caught a really weird line where he says, "This won't be like Mexico, McIntyre. These people are like us."
Yeah.
It's like,
huh?
Hold on.
Wait a second, back it up, guys.
What are you? You're right. Let's back it up. What do you mean? But it's just kind of funny how, like you're saying, we just kind of get dropped into like, okay, here's our guy.
Yeah.
But then they choose him because has a Scottish name, and then we get him and his friend going to the vending machine, and he's like, "I'm not Scottish. My ancestors,
my parents. It's his parents, which is crazy.
His parents, right?
His parents come from Hungary, and they picked McIntyre because they thought it was American.
They thought it was American. And then we go to Happer and his abusive psychiatrist, played by, I saw him in something else this year.
Did you really?
And I was like, it's the guy.
That's crazy.
Was it The Warriors? There was like something I watched for the first time this year where I was like, oh my God, it's the psychiatrist from Local Hero. And he's in The Empire Strikes Back as well. He's just like one of the guys.
Other rebel officer, Empire Strikes Back.
Oh man, I gotta see what it is. That's
crazy.
He's in Victor Victoria. That's what I saw him in.
I see.
He has like one scene in Victor Victoria. Anyway, I think he's funny in this. He plays like Jason Mantzoukas, if you know who that is. He's on a lot of TV stuff. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, A Good Place. He has a podcast about films as well. But he's just got this kind of manic energy that's really strange. And this is the strangest B-plot in the movie. I mean, it's the only B-plot in the movie, but it's really bizarre that he is a psychiatrist who is working with Happer.
It's not the only B-plot in the movie. We have some mystic B-plots going on in this movie.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. We'll get to that. You're right. I'm sorry. But this is Happer has hired this man, Moritz, who is a psychiatrist, whose method is to demean him because Happer thinks too highly of himself.
I guess that's the best. That's the best explanation I've heard.
But it does have one of my favorite moments in the movie, which is when he's like, "What if I punched you?" And Burt Lancaster stands up and is like, "I'll punch you if you don't get out of my office." But then there's also that moment where he says, "I mean, look at me, Mr. Happer. I'm a single man." And it, like, the way Burt Lancaster's like disgust on his face and just says, "Get out." Because Happer's like, "I don't have a family. I don't have all these things." Right. We get the weirdest cut back down to Mac, because Happer gets on the phone with the secretary. And he's like, "Who are we sending to Scotland?" And she's like, "McIntyre. He did Africa last year, or Mexico." And anyway, we go to Mac, and he's like, "I just got the call. I get to go up, and I get to take the express elevator.
Big happenings.
Big happenings." It's like,
Like he turns into like a 1930s like news reporter, and I don't
he's
like
a newsie for a brief moment.
It's crazy. It's such a weird moment.
But then, have you caught yet that the secretary is speaking to Margaret Thatcher when he gets there?
Yes.
She's like, "Hello, like I have the prime minister on the phone for you." But before that, she's like, "Yes, I did try it with the strawberry. Thank you so much," or whatever. And then she's like, "All right, Mr. Haber, I have the prime minister for you." And only this time did I go, "Oh,
yeah, he's talking
peak Thatcher hours."
Yeah. Peach Thatcher hours.
Like
and then,
the idea that Margaret Thatcher is giving a recipe to Haber's secretary.
Yes.
Is bonkers.
And then the one that always gets me too is immediately following that. She's like, I'm sorry, Your Highness, please tell His Royal Excellency that he'll have to wait.
Yes. Like, Happer is making big moves. He is the head of this massive oil company. But I did want to shout out, this is why I wanted to get into the summary, the staircase that Mac ascends, Forsyth directly is like, and that's me doing my best, Powell and Pressburger, A Matter of Life and Death, Stairway to Heaven.
Interesting.
Which is kind of fun, kind of interesting.
I can see that now, thinking about it.
Yeah.
That's very fun.
So Mac ascends the stairs, and then we cut to filming in Scotland, which is just kind of something I'll never be able to forget every time I watch it now, is I'm like, okay, and that's where we go from America to Scotland.
Yeah.
But I mean, this scene, again, one of the funniest lines in the movie is Mac comes in and Happer's explaining Scotland and how, we did come from this, this company, Knox, and he goes, my father founded this company. And Mac looks over at is it his father or is it?
It's his father. He thinks it's the founder. He's like, no, that's my father. He bought out Knox.
No, that's not him.
Yeah, that's not him.
It's a good joke. And then, I mean, the way that the ceiling opens up, this little, like, Empire Strikes Back probe droid comes out, and he, like, uses it to open the...
It's gorgeous, a wild space. It's such a strange netherworld office.
And I think it is important to mention here that, like, later we do find out that this is not only Happer's office and observatory, it is also his house.
Yes.
His apartment is here too.
His rustic Italian home.
Rustic, like, Tuscan Italian home, where he makes dinner every night, is also at the top of this tower in the same place that he works. Like, as much as this movie makes obvious, like, Mac living his life behind glass, living his life over the telephone, talking to people only on the phone, and existing behind glass, right? He's so removed from the world. Happer also is living at the top of this ivory tower where he lives and works and does his hobbies.
And he never leaves.
He never leaves, and he is clearly being affected by this, which is why he has the psychiatrist who hates him, right? Like, these are two men who are both immensely removed from reality and from the natural world, to the point that they are literally exploiting the natural world. Happer's a little more spiritual and cosmic about it all than Mac is.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, we'll talk about Happer's actions a little bit later, but I do think, like, watching it this time, I really was like, no, like, these two guys have a lot in common. And it's just so happens that, like, Happer just is just that much little bit more in touch with nature because he yearns for it. Because, as he says later, he saw the Northern Lights in Alaska in 1953. Like, he's seen some, like, he looks to the stars, but he is not grounded anywhere, right?
Well, it feels like, it's one of those things that they don't get into it because it's not that kind of movie, but, like, in this conversation, you kind of get the feeling that he was kind of forced into doing this, right? It's like, well, my dad bought out the business and it was the family business and I took over because that's what you do, like that was the generation that I came from. But, like, clearly this dude, like, is missing something and is actively chasing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a way that Mac hasn't realized he's going to be feeling himself,
Yeah, I mean, even Bill Forsyth says, like, of Happer, like, there is an aching, crying soul inside of him, which is very true. Yeah. He is, which is why I guess you get Burt Lancaster, who can kind of play that while also playing this very wooden man, but he is pretty animated as well. It's an interesting character. But Mac briefly tries to ask out a girl again from behind glass over the phone from his office, who, by the way, was played by a publicist that they roped in They were just like, you just want to do this quick like walk on roll.
That's so
we cut from that to Mac. Also, Happer doesn't even know his name, which is a setup, I suppose. He calls him Macintosh, and he's like, "Yes, sir." The old country.
Thank you.
We can't not. Sorry, you're right. Country. A McIntyre. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But then we cut to Mac in his apartment, which is a real apartment in Houston, and he's on the phone with his ex-girlfriend Trudy.
Yes.
Which is a kind of blink and you'll miss it line if you don't have subtitles on, especially.
Yeah.
But he's trying to, he's like, well, do you have my camera bag? The one you kept your makeup in. He's like, and I have some things for you too. I have some envelopes. And he's like, no, I'm not calling you a thief. Well, maybe you are a kleptomaniac. And my favorite thing about this conversation is that when you first see it, you're like, oh, it's a guy pretending to talk to someone on the phone. Yeah. But then you listen and someone is on the other end.
You can hear someone.
You can hear her talking. So it's like they've timed it out, I suppose.
Yeah.
But the ending of that scene being like, all right, well, go piss up a rope for all I care. And he hangs up the phone. Bill Forsyth is like, I didn't write that. That's him. That's his line. He's like, I would never write piss up a rope.
Piss up a rope.
It's a very evocative and mean thing to say.
Fascinating thing to say.
It really is. So he goes to Scotland on an 80s airplane, lands. Our boy Peter Capaldi is there.
The myth,
the man himself, he's hiding the rest of Mac's name, just Mr. Mac.
Yeah.
Another great joke. Mac walks up and he's like, do you have a car? He's like, yes. He's like, let's go. He's like, oh, do you need any help with all that? And he's like, yes.
Can I give you a wee hand?
Can I give you a wee hand? And then Danny just takes the jacket.
The coat.
And as they walk like further back in the frame, we see that Mac has like 3 suitcases, but he's just carrying the jacket. They go to the lab, and I want, how would you describe this scene, Parker?
The lab is such like it's so close to a Monty Python sketch. These two guys are
he kind of looks like John Cleese in
makeup. He kind of does.
Guys,
It's just these two guys look and sound and feel like they are in their own separate movie. Like they're just going on about how like they've tested 10,000 years of glacial freeze, and like one of them's like, he's proved it. He's proved that like everything's like that. It's only going to get colder. Another ice age is coming. And he's like, but they won't listen to him. And he goes,
they want to freeze.
They want to freeze. He says, well, thank you, but there's no reason in bringing that up. I don't know what's happening with these guys. Could you hold finesse?
Would you hold it finesse a minute for you? Dream large. Dream large. No, keep it. Like the energy is so weird in that room.
Such a strange
because also room. This is a moment that it makes me grit my teeth every time, but the way that Peter Capaldi plays interested in Marina is like the most unsettling. Like he is bouncing up and down, eyeing her, and there's this brief cut to like him just like vibrating in place, and I'm like,
what's happening, Danny? What's going on?
I think this is one of those scenes that you kind of have to get people over when they watch it for the first time. Like when you're showing it to a group, you just kind of have to be like it's funny enough that they get through it, but I am always kind of like, this might be a moment that someone's like, because also the way they talk about Marina, I can't tell if the joke is that those 2 weird lab guys are sexualizing her, or if they aren't, and the joke is that you think they're going to. Because they say, magnificent pair of lungs on her. Oh, a great asset. And it's like, is the joke that you guys are saying that knowingly, or is the joke that you're saying it obliviously?
They have no idea. Like that's how I read it.
Because then also they say they go like, she's much better in the field, and then they look at each other and like nod solemnly, and it's like they're not winking at each other.
No, like do you think? Okay, we're all right. Cat's out of the bag.
Yes,
Marina's a mermaid.
Yes, she is.
Marina's a mermaid.
Mermaids in STEM. Mermaids in STEM. She is a mermaid.
Do you think they know? Like, is that part of this? Do they know?
I think they might. The knowing look they give each other when they're like... Because they don't have the energy of, we love working with Marina.
Yes.
They have the energy of, like, we work with her because she's a mermaid.
She's a mermaid. She is invaluable to the work we do.
But it's not like... It's like the way they talk about her is kind of just like, and she's also here.
Yes.
It's really, but then her energy is so bizarre in the movie of like when she comes up and she's like, there's the dud. And then she just walks away and you're just kind of like, it's simultaneously like Peter Capaldi is leering and I don't enjoy that part. But then these guys are so solemn and like in their own world. And then Marina just has her own weird mermaid vibe going on.
Yes.
That you're just kind of like, what's happening in this scene, you guys? It's really bizarre, but I do love the way that he says, because Mac tries to give them back for Ness, and he goes, "No, keep it." And then we get that shot of the fire, and he's like,
"Yeah, the little pilot light."
And then we get their line as they drive away of, "What are you thinking about? Girls, naked girls in fish tanks." Me too. And like, I always feel weird about that line because my brain goes, the movie therefore endorses this behavior.
Right.
But then like, no, it doesn't.
No.
Because Danny's arc, if you can call it that, in this movie, is that he starts as just as much of a bad oil guy as
he works for Knox.
He works for Knox, and he's like, it's great work, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great company. And so like, but he starts out as kind of this leery oil guy, and then also is changed by living on the beach.
Yes.
And spending time with a mermaid instead. And I think, like, in that way, Capaldi's performance does work.
Yeah. Because
he has such an innocence and a naivete and just kind of, like, not even enthusiasm, but he's just got, like, an amateur energy about him.
Totally.
That works for Danny as, like, the thing that sells his performance is later when he goes, what's that? And Marina describes in detail what the Northern Lights are. She's like, oh, it's Aurora Borealis. And she explains it. And he goes, I don't care what you call it. It's beautiful. Like, that line is kind of what makes him work. Because it's like, he doesn't pick up on a lot of things.
Right.
Right? Like, he is just kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Whereas Mac is more experienced and smarter at this. Danny is just kind of like, I love oil,
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of his vibe. And his heart is changed by a mermaid. And I think that's beautiful. Okay, from there they hit the rabbit.
Yep. First off, we talk a lot about the beach in this film, and the beach deserves a lot of praise. This, like, Scottish Highland road they're driving on is unreal. It's just the craziest
as Mark Knopfler
thing.
Goes nuts for the first time on the soundtrack, just
full sending it with that synth, man.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's really good.
Shit.
Good
but yes, they hit the rabbit.
They hit the rabbit. They go to bed in the car, and it's just the way that Mac is like, okay, well, I got some chocolate and some gum. What do you have? Nilch, nada. Okay. Because we learned that Danny has languages.
Yes.
He has a facsimile with languages. Not Gaelic, though.
No, not Gaelic. Not one of his languages.
Not one of his languages.
Which is crazy for him to be Scottish and that not be one of his languages.
I mean, that's the joke, right? Is that he lists, like, 11 languages and none of French, Polish, Russian, The specificity of, like, these two guys sleeping in a car for the night and all they have to eat is, like, tiny pieces of chocolate each.
Yeah,
it's such a bummer. And then, like, Max showing off the picture of his car that he keeps.
The car he keeps in his wallet.
Wake up the next morning. They stretch. Mac does this weird running in place thing that I've never seen before.
He's got to do a little jog.
They feed the rabbit some grass. Come into town. Gordon Urquhart.
And Wedge
Stella.
Antilles himself.
Dennis Laws. What's his name?
I think that sounds correct.
That's his name.
Let's see. That would be Dennis Lawson.
Wedge Antilles himself. What's funny is you'll notice, Parker, that the two women in this movie are named Marina and Stella.
Yes.
AKA Sea and Star.
Yes.
Unintentional.
Really?
Bill Forsyth said on the commentary, he's like, I named Marina because she's named after a friend of a friend who was an actress that I was going to give a role in the movie, and then she couldn't do it, but I still named the character after her. And I'm like, okay.
That's wild.
I don't know if I believe you, but okay, I guess I'll take your word on it. Get to the hotel. 7, it's 8 a.m., breakfast at 8. Except for it's 7 in the fishing season. It isn't the fishing season.
It isn't the fishing season.
Gordon and Stella's game to play in the movie is that they have sex a lot. And Danny is wise to this, but Mac is like, no, they aren't.
That's ridiculous.
They wouldn't do that. Love Dennis Lawson being like, we have an injured rabbit also. Like his like mocking American accent. They meet with Gordon, not knowing that he is the same guy who runs the hotel, but he is also the accountant, and he says, this is important. We tend to double up on jobs around here. I'm a cab driver too sometimes. And he also works in the bar. Yes. Everyone does all the jobs in this town. What we also learn immediately is that the town has known they were coming.
Yes.
And they are prepared.
Okay, basically. So this is, I think, the key distinguishing factor for this film is that when you give somebody the elevator pitch for this movie, the natural inclination of where you would think it would go if you are going off of a traditional American Hollywood structure is that it's a Hallmark movie, right? Like this guy comes into town and these people change his mind, and they rally together. We got to save the town from the oil men. Like
if we could just put on one more big show, gang.
Exactly, we got to do it. One more Christmas pageant, guys. Like it's like on paper it should be that, and the
movie's called Local Hero,
right?
Which also feeds into that, right?
Yeah. Like sorry, you're good. Like it just everything about what you are bringing as a viewer to this premise is telling you that's what to expect. And it is wild when you meet Gordon and Stella and the rest that they know, and they are so willing and ready to sell. There is no like, oh man, but like, this is our home and we're gonna have to say goodbye. Just like, we're all gonna be millionaires. Like, isn't that great? Let's fleece these guys for everything they got.
Which I think speaks to what you were saying about this movie being prescient for the 80s, right? Yes. Or at least meeting this, if it starts that early in the 80s, they're shooting this in 82. It's like, this is a movie which isn't about a bunch of like innocent Scottish people who defend their town from the evils of American capitalism.
A simpler way of life.
A simpler way of life. It isn't doing like whatever the Scottish version of like The Noble Savage is. Yes. Right? Of like, they're just simple Scottish folk and they're going to save their town. It's not that. It is about how capitalism, if I don't think Bill Forsyth would maybe use that word.
Sure.
But for us, capitalism infects everybody, including these people who live in one of the most stunning places on earth. But even then, the movie creates an argument in which, and we'll talk about Victor, but when Victor is talking to Mac at the Cayley, and it's like, you can't eat scenery. Like they make the argument too of like, it makes sense for them to want to be millionaires.
Yeah.
Like Ben lays out that this beach used to be profitable and is not anymore, to the point that like when Mac comes over and is like, oh, lobsters, where do you, what do these do? And he's like, oh, we send them off to wherever and they get eaten. He's like, well, don't you eat them? And he goes, no, they're too expensive.
Yeah. Well, he's holding 5 of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like, that is the entire movie's magic, is like, this is not a story of simple people who change someone's mind. Yeah. It is a story of people who buy in completely, and it's the oil man, it is Mac, who gets conflicted. But even when he does become conflicted, it is not spoken on screen by Mac.
No, not
right?
once.
We see it happen.
Yeah.
He slowly loses his suit. He starts collecting shells.
The costume design goes really far.
Costume design is really great for both him and Danny. And they lose their ties, and they are barefoot on the beach now, doing their thing. Mac leaves his watch in the water as it comes in to shore, and it isn't until the Cayley that like Gordon is like, Mac, negotiate, and he's like, I don't know, Gordon, whatever you think is best. Like, we'll just do whatever that. And then towards the end of the Cayley, Mac is sitting cross-legged on a table, and Victor is next to him in a chair, and is like cheers, like they
you
get
did
to
it.
choose.
Like you pulled it off.
You pulled it off, and also they get to choose what they want to do with their land. It isn't up to you. We never get the scene where Mac is like, I don't want to do this. You guys are wrong. I can't believe we're doing this. It is unspoken, which also makes the movie 10 times better than it would be as that American Hollywood version.
Right.
Because it is just, it's visually apparent. This movie trusts its visuals, which are not spectacular, but just well made and well constructed in a script that is shot well. to just get that across to us without it needing to be said so directly.
Totally.
And that is...
I think it's the magic.
Like, I mean, we could end the episode right there, but there's other things I want to talk about.
Yeah.
But yes. I mean, they go to the church.
Yep.
We get the church scene, which is great because, again, Gordon is the accountant here. He is the representative capitalist for Ness. Mm-hmm. And he's standing at the pulpit.
Yes.
Like, he's the one who's like, okay, everyone, hold on. And they're all trying to, like, get their pitch in on how much they want for their land.
Yeah.
And then Murdo's the one, the preacher's the one who gets everyone to calm down. Mm-hmm. And he's like, Murdo would like to say a prayer. And then right before he can, someone runs in and goes, it's the Yank and the other one. And the way that Murdo goes, oh, God.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's really good. Everyone, please, quiet. Oh, God.
Oh, God. He comes out, again, just great deliveries of like, you want to buy my church?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, the land under it. We're kind of here on a mission.
Not as a going concern.
Not as a going, that's what he says.
Yes.
Not as a going concern.
But it is this movie, like you mentioned it earlier, but like this scene has, I think, both the best visual and probably the best joke in the movie of like capital J joke of Mac asks Murdo, he's like, hey, could you keep this confidential for now? Like, could you keep this on the download? He's like, oh, you have my word. I'll be discreet as the next man. But I must warn you that here, word tends to travel fast. And it hard cuts inside, and there's a guy in the door. Everybody's at the window watching, and one guy comes in from the door, and he's like, he just said that word travels fast around here. And they go, oh, yeah. It's my favorite joke in the movie.
It's a capital J joke. That is a good joke. And then it's followed up immediately by
the visual gag
of Mac and Danny walking away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Mac says his big line that we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Is like, I'm a telex man, and like it really ruins a nice area. Meanwhile, everyone is booking it out of the church onto what we later learn is called the church road.
Yes.
Going up the hill. Danny sees this and
clocks it and doesn't say anything.
But is clearly like,
oh boy, there goes everybody. They were all in the church.
All he says is, it's a crime.
It's a crime.
Just two guys laughing as we recount the movie that we love.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, that's what this is all about.
Look, we've been doing this for, God, how many years now?
Almost 3?
Almost 3 full years.
Almost 3?
You're still with us, so.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What comes after that? Mac calls
calls
his buddy or does he do that before that? I think he does that before.
No, because I think I don't know.
Whatever. He calls his friend in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Man, long distance seems awful back then.
Yeah, God.
Doesn't it? That's something I take for granted every day with my iPhone.
Mm-hmm,
you used to have to,
I'm calling from a very great distance.
That's an interesting way that they cut this, is we're shown the Knox Oil and Gas desk ladies before Mac even calls.
Yeah.
And then it's interesting that comes first. It's to set up the joke of him going, I know, get me so-and-so on the floor. Mm-hmm. After he's done with that call, he walks out and we get the Criterion cover, just looking up at the sky.
Very good, very good.
I love a fake sky. This movie is so in pocket for me just because I love a fake sky, Parker. You know this.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've also, we miss a lot of things. We've missed the briefcase. Do you have an adapter? I need to charge my briefcase.
What? It's an electric briefcase.
It's a briefcase. The lock is electric. I need to charge it to open it.
Immediate. So I pulled up.
Okay,
the
you
film
pulled it up.
Just
Good.
So
I was just about
losing
to do that.
Things.
Great.
Yeah, immediately after the church, they sit down, they have their meal. Trudy has her, what lovely long eyelashes you have.
Oh, yeah, Stella, yeah.
Just like
Stella, this little Trudy, moment. But that is the moment in which, Peter Capaldi, Danny catches that it's, Le Pain. It's rabbit dinner. It's a rabbit stew or whatever.
I think that one's yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They come. It's just, again, this movie is kind of very vignette-y of we come back we see everybody hanging out by the pier. We get to meet the punk girl, just sitting there hanging out with everybody. This is where they're arguing about the cars And then Mac shows up and he's like, whose baby is that? And they all just look at each other.
They all just look at each other.
It's just nobody knows what's going on.
No one knows whose baby it is, but they all take care of it anyway, right?
Uh-huh.
That's kind of the implication.
Yeah.
We do get the line when they're eating the rabbit. It's the way that Danny says, lapin. It's rabbit. And the way that like Mac freezes, Gordon has stepped away for a second and comes back out with more bread. And the way that Mac goes, is this my rabbit? And he just goes, yes.
Yes.
Like immediately, like no hesitation. Yeah. Yes, it was a clean break. It had two names.
Yep. Marina comes back and Danny is asking her about like, and you know, what goes on here. And she's like, oh yeah, this is warmish water from the Caribbean, is telling him. And she's like, that's why you're here, isn't it? And it's, what? And he's like, yeah, the Institute. I sent in a proposal to Knox. Like, I know it's just a PR thing for them, but like, it matters. Like, it'll do a lot of good. And he doesn't have the heart to tell her that, no, like, that's not at all why they're here.
It's not the Institute. No, not the Marine Laboratory.
Mm-hmm.
We also get a moment in here that I love, which is Mac looks in on Gordon and Stella dancing together. Mm-hmm. Yeah, from behind glass. Again, he is behind glass watching an intimate connection happen in front of him, right? Like he is at this point still removed from connecting with other people in that way, right?
Totally.
There is a read of this movie in which we just don't see that Mac obviously joins this couple in some sort of threesome.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
There's a line that at the end of this movie that like I think about every time. I'm like, surely that's not what they mean. Mm-hmm. Surely that isn't it. But like,
I don't know. We'll talk about in the last scene of this movie something else that I think is interesting. But yeah, we get a lot of like Gordon and Stella's life, Mac in the hotel, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Meanwhile, we are cutting back to Happer and Moritz. We get one more scene with them in which Happer is like, I'm done with you. Like, don't come back. Right.
Yeah.
Tells his secretary to cancel all future appointments with Moritz.
Mac and Gordon are negotiating. They're walking along the cliff and they're talking about like how much this would all cost. And he's like, let's not put figures on it yet or whatever. They go down and they talk with Ben. We meet Ben here on the beach for the first time.
We've seen him a few times.
He's been there here and there in the
background,
shots.
Waving and such, But they go down to talk to Ben.
And this is where Mac sees the meteor shower, and like it's kind of like the first touch with the cosmic, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, we also get him saying like, because the scene starts with Gordon being like, Ben, I was just talking to Mac. He wants to know how much you think how much the beach is worth.
Yes.
And Ben is just laughing. And then also Mac is like, he finds out that Ben also kind of looks at the stars and is like, well, where would you look for a comet? And I love the way that the actor who plays Ben says, like, if I had an inclination, I'd say look in Virgo or something, or whatever he says in Leo.
Yeah.
Then they see meteor shower. Right?
And and like, yes. And I love, like, Mac is like overwhelmed. He's like, holy God. Like, Jesus, look at that. And Gordon just goes, calm down, Mac. It's just a meteor shower. Like, it's just like, yeah, it's whatever, man. Like, this is just life.
But the movie pairs it with just really lovely,
the score
kind
so
of
good.
ambient score.
Yeah.
And fake shooting stars across a fake night sky. We're cutting to Danny, who's watching too.
Yep.
From the cliff, he's sitting on the cliff. It's the cover of the vinyl for the score as well. We're really like, this is like a turning point for Danny and Mac, right? It's like, this is a beautiful place to be. I almost want to say that the next morning is when they walk out in there. They're not in their suits anymore. It is, yeah.
Right? They are in their suits, but they've lost the ties.
Oh yes.
Mac goes to the telephone booth. He calls Happer. He's like, "Hey, I've been told to watch Virgo. Should I give up on Leo?" He says, "Nope. Keep an eye on both." And then he loses the connection. Happer goes into his home, and we get to see his rustic Tuscany home, and he gets harassed on the phone by Moritz. Crap hound.
Crap hound is...
Crap hound cracks me
I'm
up.
I'm still here, Happer, and you're still a useless piece of...
We get them on the beach collecting shells, finding scallops and things. Marina comes back and we get more of her and Danny. Then we get the introduction of, we get a radio signal in the general store of the Russians are coming. And we get to meet Victor.
Victor is Will's favorite character in this movie, right?
Of course he is. Duh.
Okay, but also we do need to shout out my other favorite scene in the general store, which is when Mac goes in there earlier for shampoo.
Oh yes, the shampoo.
And she says, dry, normal, or greasy. And he like Peter Reichert's eyes look like the cartoon suspicious eyes that you would see in like the fucking neighborhood watch guy. Like he does like this very like squinty look, and he goes, normal. Extra normal. And then she gives it to him, and she says, and that, there you go, normal, and that'll take care of your dandruff too. And he like does that same look of like it's really good.
So we meet Victor,
Victor arrives on a
Soviet
boat
Russian,
in which a woman is yelling at him
screaming at him in Russian,
screaming at him, and drops him off.
So, he gets on the pier and he's giving hugs to everybody. He's so happy, and then he keeps turning back and just shouting back at this woman, and
she like is speeding away as
just
she's
like
yelling.
So upset.
Oh man, it's so the inclusion of Victor is so important to the movie because of the way that Mac reacts when he returns to the hotel. He's been out collecting shells all day.
Yeah.
And he comes back and again looks through the door, like the glass window of the door, seeing Victor and Gordon. And he goes to like he looks for a long time and then goes to move after Gordon says, Mac, come in here. And he goes to move, and then he comes in. He's like, I want you to meet Victor. And Mac is obviously, this is the Cold War, you know, like tail end of the Cold War. Mac is very suspicious of Victor, but Victor immediately is like, oh, what do you have there? And is like, a scallop shell. And the way that he says, and this, what does he say? I said it out loud to myself the other day when I was like thinking about this episode. He's like, razor fish or razor clam? It darts through the sand.
It jets through the sand.
There we go. It jets through the sand. Very special thing or whatever he says. And Mac's like, I'm gonna go upstairs.
Well, he's like if you boil them you can eat them. He says, I wouldn't want to eat them. He just goes upstairs. We cut to Danny and Marina sitting on the cliff, and they've grown closer at this point. Like he's making passes at her. And I love, he starts like, he's telling her different words in different languages, and he's like, kisu, just kisu. And he starts kissing down her leg, and he says, you taste salty. It's just, you're a bit on the fresh side, which is really good.
And then
he
kisses her toes, and they are webbed.
And they're webbed.
She has webbed feet.
And we never come back to it. We never say.
The face that Peter Capaldi makes of like, kind of like in a daze.
Yeah.
Like confused but still horny.
Yeah.
It's really funny. We also didn't mention the earlier scene where they see a bunch of seals, and he goes, didn't sailors think they were mermaids?
Yes. She says, yes, they were wrong.
They were wrong.
It's so good.
Danny comes back, and Mac is clean. I love this scene.
He's sitting there scrubbing.
Mac is cleaning this. At this point, Danny has removed himself from any work. Because every morning he just goes, do you need anything? Do you need any help with the deal? And Mac keeps going like, no. And he's like, okay, great. And he runs off. The way that he comes in, and he's like, oh, you got a scallop shell there. And Mac's like, yes, yeah. And this is a razor shell. And then Danny asks, oh, can I take one of these to show someone? He goes, sure. He leaves. And this is, again, the unsaid in this movie of the way that Mac goes, hey, do you speak Russian? And just off screen, Danny's like, yeah, that's one of mine. And he goes, do you want my razor clam too? And he goes, no, thanks. I'll just take this. And it's like clear that Mac is trying to it's like the last gasp of like loyalty to him as like an American businessman is like, how can I use Danny to spy on this Russian, right?
Yeah. Like that's how can I need to figure out what he's doing here.
Right. And it just doesn't work because Danny's like, no, thanks. I'll just use this one. And then he just kind of, again, that isn't said. There isn't actually drama or confrontation about it.
No, it's a conflictless movie.
It's right. Even if there is brief moments of internal conflict for Mac.
Nothing
is apparent, but it isn't. Yeah, it's not externalized, which is really interesting to me.
Yeah.
The Kaylee.
Now we get to the Kaylee. Yeah, Max is doing a little
just doing a little and that's because it breaks my heart.
Yeah, you've talked at length with me about how this Kaylee breaks your soul.
You would agree.
Yes,
basically
absolutely.
was my point.
Yes,
we yearn for community.
And
this is like my dream of what a community is. It's people of all ages coming together to play live music.
Yep.
Eat food in kind of a potluck style, it would seem.
Mm-hmm.
And just like hang out and dance.
Yeah.
I am describing potentially events that were hosted by a certain religious group in our youth, but it's
not unlike a ward party.
It's not, but I want the community without the church.
Well, again, like this is community without the church. You know, like obviously these are all church-going people. This is not a church event, though.
No, it's a community event.
It's a community event.
And I already talked about earlier. Gordon and Mac are there, basically flirting almost, like the way that Gordon is like, come on, like negotiate,
come on. Yeah.
Mac's like, I don't know, Gordon, just whatever you think is right, you know. Yep. Love the brief moment where they're like, Gordon, you're still gonna help us with the waltz, right? And he's like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, ooh, can't wait. But first they play Victor's song,
which
baby. I do have a bone to pick.
Yes.
Which is that I swear I hear Victor say, even the Lone Star State gets lonesome. Mm-hmm. Lone Star State gets lonesome. Mm-hmm. The Criterion captions say, even the Lone Stars, they get lonesome. Mm-hmm. And the Criterion's wrong.
Okay. Noted.
Just I feel like it is. I just feel like I hear him enunciate the gets lonesome. And I just prefer it more if it's just a song about Texas that the Soviet is singing about Mac.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Truly. But the fact that this is his song that he sings every year.
Every time. It's not directed at Mac. This is what he sings every time.
Yes.
I mean, we even get the scene earlier that Mac walks in on, which is Gordon and Victor doing, like, Victor is helping Gordon do numbers on stocks.
Yeah.
And, like, Victor comes here to engage in capitalism.
Mm-hmm. And, like, right? Gordon's like, hey, you should go in with me. He's like, I'm strictly a cash man. Like, they're here talking commerce.
Yes, they are. They absolutely are. To the point that,
No, please.
No, we're not there yet. I was going to jump ahead.
So immediately following Victor's song is maybe the encapsulation of the whole movie, if we're going to do it in a single shot, is the two old men sitting, like they're standing and they're drinking and they're talking with each other. And they're just like, for 6 generations, my family has worked this land. Like they're reminiscing.
400 years on this farm.
Mm-hmm. And they're just like, and this is... Strange times. And the music starts, and they just start dancing in place. And it's like, I think that's the whole movie.
I think that is the whole movie. And I will also argue that the other part that is the whole movie, in some way, it's less so the whole movie, but just a shot that means so much to me, is when the punk girl and this older woman are sitting on the bench next to each other, both enjoying the music. Mm-hmm. And it's just this brief encapsulation of those generations.
Yes.
Right? Just the briefest shot of just like, I'm just going to show you, I don't know, what life is. And I go, oh God, it's life.
God, it's life.
Shit, he just showed me life.
I wasn't ready for him to show me life.
Ben's pocketing sandwiches in the other room.
Yep.
Stella
asked Matt to dance.
Yep. For the waltz that Gordon is playing.
Gordon's playing on the accordion.
And again, in a Hollywood movie, you'd go, well, obviously we're setting up some sort of love triangle. Gordon's going to get jealous. They're drinking. They're going to get into it.
Yeah. No. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Punk girl has been chasing Danny the entire time, and Danny I don't even think he is off put by her. I think he just wants to get out to Marina immediately. He just wants to go see Marina.
He does.
And so
breaks her heart a little.
Yeah, she breaks her heart a little, and she goes and talks to one of the guys in the band
with Tones.
With the Ace Tones, and he's just got a T-shirt with just carabinered straps, almost like suspenders, but they're not suspended. They're just hanging loose horizontally.
It's a cool look, in my opinion. But he's like, why would you go after that guy? Mm-hmm. She goes, I don't know, he's different.
He's different. Bloody, right? He's
different.
Right?
He's different.
And then we get the scene with Victor talking to Mac, and he's like, everybody's getting what they want. Like,
they
why
can't eat scenery.
You can't eat scenery.
And Mac is clearly at this point he's just fully conflicted about this whole operation, right?
Yeah.
We also get James Stewart. We get this old man doing impressions of old Hollywood guys for this other guy who doesn't get it. Just a good joke, just a good little scene. We also get another man in the town who's drinking, and he just goes, I thought I'd feel different, but I just feel depressed.
No one said being the millionaire would be easy.
Perk up, you're gonna be a millionaire. Like his friend's like, just perk up. And
then we get the little pan flute, or the penny flute. Yeah,
penny flutes. Yeah, penny flutes.
That piece of music, I think, just like maybe more than any other
taps into something deep.
Oh, yikes!
Oh man. Meanwhile, Danny is outside.
I love the shot. I love the shot.
Talk about it. Speak on it, Parker.
It's just Danny's in profile, and he's walking back and forth, and behind him is the shimmering bay. Like sea, the bay, and there's sunlight, there's moonlight bouncing off it, and we see him go back and forth, and the camera kind of like tracks with him a little bit as he goes, and we see very clearly lined up with like the reflection of the moonlight that he's standing there and he's pacing back and forth and nothing's there, and then he goes to the right, he goes camera right, and then he comes back and Marina is just there in this shimmering blue dress. Just like, where the hell did she come from? It doesn't matter. She's just appeared. Like the most mermaid thing.
She came from the water.
And he's like, I need to tell you something. I need, like, the Institute isn't happening. Like it's again, kind of the exact opposite of that.
A scene that you'd think would be played for drama.
Yes.
Danny's like, I lied to you. Like it's not the Institute. They're putting a refinery here.
Yeah, it's all gonna go. And
Marina pauses and like kind of sits with that for just a second.
Yeah.
And just goes, no, I don't think so.
I don't see that happening.
I don't see that happening here.
Yeah. And that's it.
And that's it.
And that's the end of the scene. And then the Northern Lights. You say the strangest things.
Parker, the Northern Lights.
The Northern Lights.
The fake Northern Lights. That is not what the Northern Lights look like at all.
But I love the fake
God,
Northern
it's gorgeous.
Lights.
And so Danny sees this first. Marina explains all the technical. Yeah, you say such strange things, Marina. And then we go to Mac and Gordon are standing. Mac and Gordon
see it.
So we haven't had the scene yet at the bar.
No,
where
not
Mac
yet.
Is, no,
that's after.
Okay, just wanted to check.
Okay,
just wanted to check.
Yeah, because he sees the Northern Lights, freaks out. He's like, I need to call Happer. Give me your tents. Everybody give me your tents.
But also, very specifically, Mac says, oh my God, what is that? And Gordon says, well, the explanation's pretty technical, but like he's like, it's the Northern Lights. Explanation's pretty technical. Cool, huh? Like that's his response. Yeah. After Marina has explained everything in depth, Gordon's just like, oh yeah, it's pretty technical. Mac runs over to the telephone booth. He runs back in, gets the tens from everybody, which is great. He's fully part of the community now. Runs back out, calls Happer. Happer's like, oh, I've seen them in I saw them in 1953. Like
he's like, give me details. What are you singing?
Give me details. He goes, okay, I'll do colors first. Red, white, green, white, red. No, that's the telephone booth.
That's the telephone booth.
And then, while this is happening, Moritz is on the outside of Happer's building. Like, has scaled the entire building and is harnessed and is on the windows, putting up individual letters on printer paper that spells out Happer as a motherfucker. And Happer's like, Moritz! And he's like throwing things at the window and then closes the window before he can finish spelling motherfucker. Obviously.
Yep, and he loses the connection with Mac,
but
who
not
screams into
Mac
the phone.
Yells.
It just went red all over. Which we quote a lot.
We quote a lot. Peter Raggard.
The phone call drops. Happer calls his secretary. He says, "Get the police. There's a madman on the outside of the building. Get marksmen. Tell them to shoot to kill."
Tell them to shoot. And tell them to shoot to kill. And then you get like this like crime procedure.
It's like NCIS.
Yeah, it's like NCIS. Like as Happer walks away from the building, cops with guns are running to the building, and Happer just gets into the limo on what we see is called Happer Avenue. He gets into a limo and drives away, and that is the end of the Moritz subplot.
Subplot.
We are led to believe Moritz was shot and killed?
Yeah.
It never comes up
crazy.
Again, and it's bonkers. It's wild.
It's nuts.
Kind of feels like they were like, we got to give Burt Lancaster more to do.
Yeah.
But it's like, he tells the police to kill a man and then flees the country.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta go.
That's a driving force as to why he goes to Scotland, surely.
Truly.
It's like, I've got to go.
I have blood on my hands.
The stars are alive and there's blood on my hands. I need to go to Scotland.
I have to go to Scotland. Okay, now is the bar scene.
So now is the bar scene.
Both
is this
Gordon
a scene that you
and
wanted
Mac
to talk
are
about?
Drunk. No, it's not.
Okay,
no.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
Well, Mac and Gordon are both drunk. They go into the bar. Love the gag of Mac catching himself on one of the...
Like leans on it and it starts
on
pouring.
the lever.
Yeah.
It starts pouring. He like is falling backwards and he catches himself on it and then looks down as it pours onto his shoe. It's great. But this is the most direct that the movie basically gets.
Yes.
About Mac, right? Like Mac goes, and it makes sense because he's drunk, right?
Inhibitions are gone.
He goes, Gordon, I want to trade. I want to swap lives with you. Like he's like, this is my car. You can have my car.
I'd make a good Gordon.
I'd make a good Gordon. And then Gordon's like, sounds good, Mac. What about Stella? He goes, I was coming to that. I was coming to that. I'm in love with her, Gordon.
Like, I love her very, very much.
And he's basically just like, leave Stella here with me.
You can have my car. You can have all of my money, all of my stocks.
And again, not a scene of drama or conflict. Gordon goes, okay, Mac.
Okay, Mac.
Because they're drunk.
Yeah.
It's just something they're saying.
It's just a drunk conversation.
It's not like this then becomes the story of the movie.
No.
It's just confessional.
Yeah.
It's how he's feeling.
Mm-hmm. The next morning, him and Victor
did skip the one line I hate in the movie.
Oh, yes, we did. Yeah.
Which is, as they're standing there watching the Northern Lights. This is literally the half-star ding because I don't understand it and I don't like the implication and I don't see how it fits into the movie at all.
Yeah.
And it takes me out of it so much that it's half a star. An older man walks out with the punk girl and she's like, no, really, I'm fine. I'm just a bit dizzy. And he says, I'll put some color in your cheeks, darling, as he walks her away. And I go, what the fuck is that?
What does that mean? What is that?
I've looked it up to see if that had a different meaning in Scotland at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels rancid, and I don't like it in my nice movie.
Yeah, that is for how timeless a lot of this movie is, that does date it quite a bit.
It dates it. That one line. The one line. Even if it was the Ace Tones guy.
Yeah.
Better. A little different.
Mm-hmm.
But it plays so rough, and I don't like it.
Yep.
So I just wanted to highlight that.
I'm glad you did. Yes, that's the half-star knock.
Yep.
The next morning, Victor and Mac are comparing hi-fi systems.
Love this. Mac gives him his card and is like, call me if you ever come to America. And Victor goes, yes, and call me if you ever come to Russia, to wherever he lives in Russia. I can't remember the town. But then he goes, I'm not often there, but you never know.
You'll never know.
But like, again, love that Mac is clearly like, if you ever become, he's still a little bit like, if you ever become free of communism. And Victor just returns the favor. And it's like, if you're ever in Russia.
If you're ever a Soviet.
Feel free to stop by. And this is where we get kind of the drama of
like maybe the main point of conflict in the movie. Gordon shows up and says, hey, Ben actually owns the beach. We didn't know this. Like,
it changes everything.
Property
we have to get Ben. Yeah.
I do love the line. Go ahead.
Yes. No, you
just
got
like
it.
They go down to Ben's and he says,
okay, before we do,
yes,
this is the line I wanted to highlight. The guy at the phone booth who gets off the phone and goes, Mr. Mac, a Mr. Happer calling,
Mr. Houston
calling
Mr.
for
Hugh
you.
Called for you.
Yeah, and he says, but then he spells Happer and he's like HAPPPER. He spelt it for me. And Mac's basically like, I can't talk to him right now. We have to go. Yeah. So then they go down to the beach.
They go down to the beach. And it says, his house doesn't have a door. Jesus, how do you do business with somebody who doesn't have a door? And Victor goes, the Essex are just the same. It's so funny.
Victor is a performance that, again, shouldn't work.
No.
But I find delightful anyway.
Yep. So they talk to Ben, and Ben's like, no. He's like, would you ever consider moving? He's like, no, I make a living on this beach. Like, he's just like not even considering the idea.
And he also has an interesting point as Mac is like showing him other beaches and trying to get him.
Well, that's later.
That's later. Sorry.
Yeah, because this first scene happens. Yeah.
Okay, this first scene is with Ben, and this is where Ben says, but I find it really interesting where Gordon or Mac says like, but you wouldn't have to work if you sell. And he goes, yes, we all have to work, Gordon. Like, and that's such an interesting notion of this movie is it's not saying that, because this community is very socialist in a way of they all pitch in to do the work, they all run the bar, they all they all share the baby, they all share the baby. But it's also like, again, it speaks to just this idea of like, it's not that we're not trying to do work, it's not like we're saying that labor doesn't happen, but like everyone has to work in life, but that doesn't have to be your entire life, right? And it doesn't have to distract you.
Yeah, it's a good moment. I like that line a lot. They're all back at Gordon's place, his restaurant, and they're sitting around drinking, obviously distraught. And Max says, "Can you turn off that polka music?" And he's like,
"Well, he just says, Gordon, can this be turned off?
Can this be turned off?
It's the same music that's been playing every time we're in the dining room.
Really jaunty polka." And he's like, "Can this be turned off?" He says, "Yeah." "Could you turn it off?" "Why, do you not like it?" "No." "You've never liked it?" "You
never liked it?"
"No."
"No."
Not even when you first heard it? "No."
"Not even when you first got here, you didn't like it?" "No."
And then we go back. And then we cut back to Ben. They're on the beach. He's got all these postcards, right? Yes. And he's showing him all this stuff, and he's tossing around all these numbers. And what's crazy, I can't believe that like this whole I can't remember exactly how much of this was improvised. I think the sand bit is written. That he's like you're very good with the figures. You're very good with the numbers. He's like, let's do this. So he picks up a handful of sand. He's like, if you'll give me a pound note for every grain of sand in my hand, you can have the beach for that. And he's like, look, I don't want to play games. Let's do business in a business-like manner. Oh, and as he's talking about it, some of it drops, and he goes, saved you a few pounds there. And I think that's improvised. Which is really great.
And then after Mac's like, that wouldn't be business-like, Ben lets it all go, and he goes, "How's foolish, Mr. Mac? Like, I can only hold like 80,000 grains of sand in my hand at a time." And then Mac goes, well, "What about a hatful?" He's
like, "You took advantage of me, Ben." He said, "Did I?" Yeah. "What about a hatful?" "Oh, well, that wouldn't be very businesslike."
Great little scene. Perfect little scene.
They're whining and dining Ben back at the restaurant.
Take him back for dinner.
And Danny goes back to get him more potatoes, and half the town is sitting in the kitchen. He's like, he wants potatoes.
Yeah, well, what I also love is there's just a lot of great little performance moments in this movie that I do love. One of them being when he comes out and he goes, "More potatoes, anyone?" And everyone goes, no, thank you, Danny. And the way that Ben is like, roast if you have them. And also the fact that Danny is now working at the hotel, which I know it's like a special situation, but I'm also like, even Danny now is working another job.
And they're all sitting in the kitchen, and I forgot about this, that they're all sitting in the kitchen waiting around, and they're just passing around the Furness model. And they're all looking at it.
They are.
And one of them picks up a little. He's like, "Oi, Ewan, you looking to buy a house?" "No, I'm looking to sell a house."
Yeah.
It's really good.
Really good. Oh, man. So Ben leaves after dinner.
And the town is like trying to talk to him.
They're all standing outside. Yes, like, there's
can we have a word with you
outside?
Yeah.
And he doesn't even respond. He just walks away. And then Mac and Gordon are like, let's walk him home. They run to catch up with him. They walk him home. They get there.
He talks about how this used to be, like, there used to be a lot of money in this bay. Like, this beach used to have a lot of money.
Chemical treatment of seaweed and such.
And then the trade routes changed. And then farewell, Furness.
He also talks about here, he's like, I found a coconut on the beach once.
Yeah. He gives them oranges,
idea where that came
like
from.
A carton.
Gives them oranges. He found a carton of oranges the other week. And we know how those things got up there because Marina explained to Danny the water, but they don't, and it's just kind of interesting. They're eating oranges, which is important.
Yes. And Mac asks him, he's like, what's the most amazing thing you've ever found on this beach? And he says, I really couldn't say. I find something amazing
every week.
Yeah.
Then they look out across, and the entire town is... Gordon says, They've taken the church road.
I think he says, "Oh no, they've taken the church road." It's just he's like, maybe they just want to talk. Yeah, maybe
they just want to talk.
They just want to talk.
It's a mob of people crossing the beach. What I always thought was a gas can is just Ricky with his red motorcycle helmet.
Okay.
But I always thought they were coming to burn Ben's
house
down.
So funny. And then we get literal divine intervention.
The behind the scenes showed them filming this, and it is just really cool to see. They had to get the timing right on this of the helicopter coming in with the light. It's 3 cuts. They cut together 3 different takes of it so that it could flow well. So they cut back to Mac and Gordon. These things. Happer's helicopter lands. Happer gets out.
He grabs Danny.
Is like, I'm here, McIntyre. I'm glad I came. You didn't have to put a welcoming party together for me, but I appreciate just the same.
It's like, is there something these people want? Could I get a church hall, a piano maybe? Yeah. I want to make it a personal gift.
You're doing a great version of the way he gestures with his hand.
I want to make it a personal gift.
But also when he meets, so eventually he finds out that this Danny is not McIntyre. He goes, well, where the hell is he? I've been traveling 24 hours.
I'm not playing games.
I'm not playing games. Are you McIntyre?
Yes, sir.
But then he introduces him to Gordon, and he shakes Gordon's hand, and then feels the orange peel on his fingers. Like Happer's just a little thrown off by that. Walk away. Danny takes the luggage. Yeah. Come on, Danny, carry that stuff. Next morning, I do love this cut a lot of them, because it's kind of like, where are we going to go from here? There's this divine intervention of Happer's arrival. Just cut to the next morning. Yeah, I love the way they're posed of Happer at a table by himself.
Yeah, they're on one table, and Mac has to turn around to talk to him.
Yeah, it's really nice. And he says he loves the stars, and the way that Happer goes, I'll talk to him.
I love to. Well, what does he want? That's the thing, sir. He doesn't want anything. I'll give him the piano. He doesn't want anything, sir. Have you tried a piano? It's just good, man.
You're right. I'm sorry. That's really funny.
Have you tried a piano? But he's like, yeah, he knows a lot about the stars. He's got a telescope down there. He's like, I'll talk to him.
Take him down there.
Sir, if he tries to do anything with sand, say yes.
Sand?
You'll know it, sir. I don't understand. Is he trying to sell me the sand? Sure, you'll pick up. You'll understand. And so they go in there, and it's so funny. Happer climbs into the shed. He's like, "You stay here, McIntyre. I'll handle this." And then they're just waiting, and you just hear these two laughing together. It sounds like they're hotboxing the place.
It does, and it's the millennial star laugh from Mario Party 3. Just like they're just chortling. Bill Forsyth specifically mentioned the white smoke that comes out of it's coming out of Ben's cabin, as if they're picking the new pope. He specifically referenced it's like a conclave. So we don't get to go in. We don't get to hear the discussion. They're just waiting. At this point, Mac is fully scruffy faced.
Yep.
Is wearing a knit sweater. He's been converted. It's been days.
Yeah.
At a certain point, Danny does his great Peter Capaldi arms out Naruto run, takes their order and comes back, and they're like, "What did they say?" And he's like, "I want some roast beef sandwiches, mustard, and he describes
salt."
He's like, "Did Happer say anything?" He doesn't want the mustard. He just wants the salt. And then they all come back. Stella leads the charge. She comes back. And also Victor has that line of bring some brandy, Gordon. I'm dying. Bring back styrofoam cups for the brandy, which is just a wild thing for me to imagine. I just feel like that's such a weird combination of things. They're waiting. They come out. And every time we've shown this to someone, they think that Happer's going to walk into the ocean. Right?
Just like he just
comes out and just takes a deep breath and then beelines it for the sea. And Mac runs after him.
Because he heads off. He comes out and he walks off screen. We see Mac follow him with his eyes and then start to move. And it cuts to a wide shot of the helicopter and Happer, and he's just walking directly towards the ocean. And he's so tiny in the frame. And it's he's just walking into the sea.
And Mac's running after him. He catches up with him, and he's basically immediately just I'm not thinking of a refinery anymore.
Yeah, he's like, I've changed my mind. He's like, well, sir, the deal's in a very advanced stage. He's like, no, I want this place.
But not for a refinery.
Yeah, we need to rethink it. And then Danny jumps in. He's like, He's like, oceanography, like an institute.
This is a perfect place for a marine laboratory. Some of the people back at the lab in Aberdeen, the way that he says, like, the lab.
In Aberdeen. Geddes has already worked on it.
And he says, what is he? He says, like,
you could study. It's a perfect place for studying the stars as well. Sea and sky. I like that. And then he says, you could call it the Happer Institute, sir. You're right. That you might be right. That might just be
that might be just the name for it. He's like still doing this like humble act of like, that might be just the name.
That might be it. And he turns to Mac and he's like, take the chopper, get back to Houston. Like, we need to crunch the numbers. We need to run some deals. He's like, and McIntyre, get yourself a shave. He also says, I'm glad I got here in time to stop your refinery escapade. Yeah, you're fine.
And Mac's just kind of like standing there dumbfounded.
Yeah.
He walks off. Mm-hmm. He's like, me and Ben are gonna look at the stars tonight. He walks off. And Mac goes to Danny.
Now, Danny, like, what's this? You never told me about this.
He goes, yeah, some people have been working on it. You remember the girl?
Yeah, remember the girl.
And the way Mac goes, oh
yeah,
the girl. And we just get everything kind of wraps up. Mac is in the bar with Gordon.
Mac is in the bar with Gordon. Okay. And he's like, hey, he's like, signing a check for his tab. And he's like, no, let Knox cover it. He's like, no, it's fine. And he's back in his suit. He's back in his tie. He's done up. He's like, no, I want to be business about this. And he, says goodbye to Gordon. And he says, say goodbye to Stella for me. She's like, go upstairs. She's waiting for you. She's waiting for you upstairs. And he's like, no, you tell me. He's like, go up and see her, Mac. He says, no, you just tell her for me. And that line, the fact is like, go up and see her. She's waiting for you upstairs. I'm like, what's going on with these three? What is happening? But then, like, when we see her next, she's out, like, hanging laundry. Like,
But she does look at the helicopter as it leaves.
She does.
Because here's the thing, is, like, I am all for just man and woman being friends.
Right.
And the way that they dance at the Kaylee is just lovely. Like, it clearly just looks like it's those two actors having a nice time dancing. We don't hear anything they say. They're smiling and laughing, and like he dips her, and it's just very nice. And Gordon's watching over with his accordion. Not really, you can't really read anything into his face. He's just noticed, like he's watching.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I never caught that on that line. But like, I don't know. Like, on one hand, I'm like, I love that they're just good friends.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I'm like, it doesn't surprise me because it does feel like feels like there's enough that they're like cutting around that it feels like there could just be that as a subplot that was never written or filmed. True. But I'm like, I feel like that's believable. I don't know.
Yeah, like the thing is, it doesn't feel out of the stretch of, like, it doesn't feel out of the realm of possibility for this movie.
It doesn't, and it also doesn't feel like it's like a gag necessarily. It's just kind of
like, it's an interesting
if it was
bit of flavor
here, or if it was implicated here intentionally, it's just kind of like a subtle sexual freedom message.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
It's an interesting little note. And like most of the time I've read it just as friendship, but like this time specifically, I was like, she's upstairs waiting for you. Go see her.
Well, I mean, like Gordon and Mac's friendship is clearly they are friends, but there is like a certain level of playfulness to it that you're also like, I don't know, you three could just be getting together. I don't know.
You guys could just do your thing.
That is really funny to imagine Danny being like, do you think they're at it up there? And Max saying no because he's like, I don't want Danny to be a part of it.
I really don't want you involved in this.
I don't want you involved in this.
I don't want to see you naked, Danny.
No, it'd be weird. You look like a tree.
Okay, hold on. Wait, pause. Yeah. We didn't address your favorite line in the movie, which is when he goes to the bar for the first time before he's going to go make the phone call.
Oh God, we missed
he's like, I want you to try something, Mac.
It's yeah.
Would you like to take it?
Yeah, I would. I can't believe we almost forgot. I would have been devastated. It's what we've referenced on this show before.
Yes.
So Gordon, I think it's maybe not his first time at the bar. I think it's a little bit late because he's going into the bar. Yeah. I think it's the second time or something. It's whenever Gordon is talking to a crowd of townspeople at the bar about they're like pushing Gordon, like, we want this deal to happen. He's
right.
Like, I'm taking my time with it. And then Mac comes in and they say, we'll talk at the Kaylee. So it's just before the Kaylee. Mac comes in and Gordon's like, I want you to try something. And he like is, I love the fucking pourer things on the ceiling.
It's really
you
cool.
Press the
you
cup
just push
into
it.
Just push it. And he's like, it's this 40-year-old brandy or whatever. Mac says, old enough to be out on its own. he
laughs at his
own joke, which I don't know if I've ever seen in a movie, and if I have, it's not played just straight. And then Gordon just goes, quite. Like he just like looks at him and just goes, quite, as he like continues talking. But it's just this brief moment of Mac making what he thinks is a good joke and laughing at it, and it cracks me up so much.
Max quotes it often.
Old enough to be on its own. It makes me laugh every time. Thank you for remembering.
Yeah. Okay, back to the end of the movie.
Back to the end of the movie. Mac gets in the helicopter.
He gets in the helicopter. Danny tells Marina that the Institute's going to happen.
He's running into the water to
running
tell her.
into the water after her.
Helicopter takes off.
One of the guys asks for his autograph.
Yeah, he does. And also, if you watch that guy, the rotors start spinning. And he like looks up, and you can tell it's just this actor genuinely scared of the rotors.
Terrified.
Jesus.
It's like, oh god.
They take off. Stella watches the helicopter fly away.
Yep. And we get two of the fishermen.
Two of the fishermen. Is that the Yank away? No, is that the Yank up there? Yes,
he's away.
Ah, bugger. I meant to tell him cheerio.
Yeah.
Flies off. We get that same kind of Highlands shot that you love so much as Mark Knopfler, if I can say, going hard. This is such a great piece. We just cut to Mac walking back into his apartment.
Yeah, just smash cut back in.
Turning the lights on. And as he puts stuff, he goes to the counter,
empties his pockets.
Opens the fridge, and then he empties his pockets of all of the shells. Back when you could take seashells on the plane. I'm sure that's not allowed in your coat pockets anymore. Takes all those, takes out 2 Polaroids.
Yep.
One of which is just of Stella, and the other one is him, Gordon, and Stella together.
Yes. And she has she has her arms linked around both of theirs.
Yes.
And she's in the middle. He pins those on his board.
Which could mean nothing.
Could mean nothing.
Pin that up on the board. And then as he opens the glass sliding door and he steps out, the final track starts of that organ, of like that synth organ. Steps out.
Another weird thing that keeps happening when we watch this movie with people is at least one person goes, oh god, is he going to kill himself? Like there's at least one person every time thinks he's going off that balcony.
Which in Bill Forsyth's original ending is maybe something that could be gleaned.
True. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But and we like this ending. We like the studio note.
Yes.
But he steps out of the balcony. Houston is blue as hell.
Yeah.
It is just a blue, sad. It's like, looks like Sad Town, USA.
Yeah, Sad Town, USA.
And he's just standing on the balcony overlooking it all. And then
it fades to black.
And
then it comes back up.
Which was Bill Forsyth's ending. Was that it would fade to black, credits.
Yeah. Yep.
The studio gave a note that was too sad.
Yeah.
To end the movie on, right? They wanted to see Mac go back. They wanted to see him go back to Scotland. Bill Forsyth pushed back on that and was like, we're not doing that.
Yeah, it's not the kind of movie.
Compromise. We cut back to a shot from earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
It's like the first few frames of a shot earlier when Danny and Mac are first arriving at the hotel. And like literally if they held for like 2 or 3 more frames, you'd see the car start to come into frame.
Yeah.
It's just this still shot of the phone booth on the shore in front of the village. And the phone starts to ring as Knopfler's score picks up. And then like the most triumphant
craziest sax
solo
you've ever heard in
just
your life
kicks off the credits, and that's the movie.
In a tear.
That's the movie.
That's the movie.
Local hero. You prefer the phone booth end?
Absolutely. Like it is so clearly this movie's version of that compromise, where it's like, okay, we want to see him go back to Scotland. It's like, not that kind of movie. What I will give you is this gentle ambiguity that the rest of the film has. And the phone rings for a few times, right? Like it rings, it cuts to black, and it rings, and then the credits go.
Perfectly cut.
It's
perfectly cut.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
And I think that's what really gets the ache across that you talked about in your first review of this movie, right? Mac returning back, from this lovely trip abroad where he made friends for the first time, kind of fell in love for the first time.
Yeah.
And has basically had his entire life kind of ruined for him.
Yeah.
Even by his boss, whose boss is like, I'm going to stay here. Yep. And we're going to open the Institute, and you have to go back to Houston.
You have to go home.
And it is just, there's something really devastating about it. But then the phone booth is just like, just the right amount of hope. Like, that's what it feels like. That's how, I mean, for me, a feeling that I feel often. And by the way, this was my birthday pick for this year.
Yes.
Something that I just want to say briefly about a birthday party is that my least favorite part of the party is when everyone has to go home. Because when I've had parties, I often have lived alone.
Yeah.
And so when people leave, I'm just by myself again. And that's what this movie captures perfectly. Is like, I was just with all my favorite people, doing something I loved, caught up in all of this, like, swept up in all of this. And at the end of the day, I'm still back in my apartment by myself.
Yeah.
And that is something that has made me cry on my birthday many times because I hate it so much. And that's something that this movie makes me feel in a way that is approachable.
Yeah.
Parker, I want to ask you about your most recent review of the movie, and then we can get into criteria, because we have been talking for a very long time. But your most recent review, I think, is a good access point for what you maybe want to say about the ending of this movie.
Yeah, which is just, let me find it here for you. I said, it's a good thing I followed my passions into a career in the arts. Otherwise, this thing would probably make me kill myself. Because I watched that ending, and I think about what it would feel like to watch this movie if I just gave up on everything I wanted to do and just decided to try to find the most lucrative path forward, which is something I had to grapple with and consider when I was in high school specifically, of saying, okay, look, I know that I've loved film and theater for a very long time, but do I need to be a lawyer? Do I need to be a doctor? Do I need to do a real job that's actually going to pay the bills, and then I'll have money, and that will make me happy because I'll be really well settled and stable and established? And if I had done that, and then somehow, some way this movie had crossed my wake, it would fundamentally undo the fabric of my life. Like, it would just, that ending, I watch this movie and I think, wow, I'm so grateful for the community that I have. And I'm so grateful that I don't feel this huge sense of longing in my life. Like, my life is very much the way I've always wanted it to be. And even the things I haven't accomplished yet, like, I'm making progress towards those things. And it's not completely an alien alternate life world for me.
Right.
And if I wasn't that way and I watched this movie, it would just, like, rock my world to just see, oh, hey, this dude who has everything, I can relate to that. And God, I don't want to relate to that, you know? And that's what this movie gets for me, is just, like, it so perfectly sums up that feeling of community and that longing to be a part of something. And, like, it's the weird handoff that you and I have talked about so much in our personal lives, of, like, the push and pull between finding a tiny town in the middle of nowhere where maybe there's not a lot of opportunities, but you get this, versus somewhere bigger where there is a lot of opportunities, but, like, because it's bigger, you're never going to get such a close-knit, like, everybody knows your name kind of a thing. Like, it is a feeling we as a culture have been chasing for a very long time. There is one of the most successful sitcoms of all time put it directly into their theme song.
It's true.
Everybody, you always want to go where everybody knows your name.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I also thought about watching it this time is, like, Mac's character at the top of this movie is a guy who only communicates with people via the phone and prefers to do so, and is constantly like, why do I have to go there? Why do I have to be here? I could have done this from my office. I could have done this in an afternoon, while he's standing in the most beautiful place ever. He is separated from other people by phones and by glass.
Yeah.
And is, like, desperately chasing the lies of, late stage capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're all doing now.
Yeah.
We are locked away from other people and community, genuine community, by glass and phones. It's just that they're the same thing now.
Yeah.
The phone is the glass now.
Right.
And I just, watching it this time, I was just like, why is everyone online now Mac?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is everything on social media that was like supposed to be like, here's an artist making something? It's like, well, no, actually it's about the numbers.
Yeah.
It's all about the numbers. And you can never just go and stand somewhere nice for yourself. You have to be reporting it to everyone else at all times, right? Like,
yeah.
This has only become more all-encompassing of our culture entirely. And I think that's another part of like why it plays so well to me is like, I hate all that shit.
Yeah.
I actually don't like all that shit. And I would give anything to just be living in a small town or even a big city if I need to, where I have a close-knit group of people that get together to play music and dance and eat and just exist together. And we're working and, we're not always happy. We can't eat the scenery. We can't eat our nice community that we have, but at least we have it because there are people who do this stuff without community.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think this movie is great and has only aged better and better as time has gone on.
Yeah, I think that's a really lovely thesis statement for the whole thing. Very well put.
Thank you.
Criteria?
So now we have to compare it to Citizen Kane,
Yeah.
a movie that is not about community. In a sense. Guy's going around asking everybody, hey, you knew this guy? And they go, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that guy. He turned out to be a real crap hound. He turned out to be a real crap hound.
Turned out to be a crap hound. Yeah, that's
Charles Foster Kane was one visit to Furness away from becoming normal again. Point to Kane. Come on. No one knows this movie exists.
Nobody knows this movie exists.
But thank you to the Criterion Collection for putting it on my radar and for preserving it forever. Every once in a while, someone will go into, like, a celebrity will be in the Criterion Closet and they'll pull this movie. Yeah. Like, there's been, like, 3 or 4 people. I can't remember who they were, but I've always been like, oh, hey, look.
I think Tucci pulled it.
I think he did.
I think the Tooch pulled it.
That's probably right.
Yeah.
But no, point to Kane. How well do you think this movie's doing what it's trying to do?
Pretty effectively. Like, to the point that, like, Forsyth can, like, thread the needle on a studio note in such a perfect way, I think is a huge example of, like, just a mastery of what he wanted to get out of this movie.
Yeah. I mean, if the goal was to create a gentle comedy that was a light satire of, people who spend all their time at work and not connecting with people, that's what this movie is. Yeah. That's exactly what this movie is. I mean, again, it's a bizarre example of a movie that's doing what it's trying to do perfectly because there are so many things about it that are rough. Yeah. There are performances that are bizarre or not great. And yet still they just fit right into this weird little world.
Yeah, it all feels of a piece.
It all feels of a piece. I again, the reason that line stands out so much to me is because I don't see how it fits into this piece, right? Yeah. Like, what is that doing here? What does that mean? What does that say? I can excuse lines like, what are you thinking about naked girls? Because I'm like, yeah, these guys suck at this point. Yeah. But that man is just an old drunk man, and the punk girl has done nothing to deserve anything weird. She's, not that anyone ever deserves anything weird, but I just mean, like, why are we doing that?
Why are we doing this?
Anyway,
yeah,
bizarre.
I get that.
But yeah, I would say it's doing what it's trying to do very, very well. Personally, this is the line we walk between subjectivity and objectivity, but I'm going to say, yeah, I think it does
Full send it.
Than Citizen Kane does it.
Yep, I agree.
It's trying to do.
Point.
This movie makes us feel.
Yeah, it makes us feel a lot.
Makes us feel a lot.
Makes us ache.
I like that you said it's... What's the best thing that has been said in this 2-hour podcast? You were like, it's a satire in the... It's a commentary in the way that a tree is a commentary.
It's anti-capitalist in the way a tree is anti-capitalist. I'm glad that stuck for you.
Yeah, that's really good. I love that. That's my new pitch for this movie.
Great.
I mean, I would give 2 points to Local Hero and 1 point to Kane.
I would as well.
But now we need to take a step back
and
get real.
Get real.
Get real. Come on, Danny, carry that stuff.
You think if you watched a movie on your fucking telephone, get real. Thank you, David Lynch.
Thank you, David Lynch. I'm sorry that you died and then Netflix bought Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Anyway, big year for movies. Is this better?
Okay. I love this has become a clause. I love that this is like Stokes v. Monkey trial. Like it's like there's a statute that's been applied now of like I will draw the court's attention to the case of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Which I stand by, and I will always stand by. But
and I stand by it.
But it truly is the poster child for what this is all about, where it's like, hey, look, if you are feeling like on our personal podcast we're going to say that any movie is better than Citizen Kane, you can, and we have, and we will.
Here's something I'll say. I think I appreciate you reviving and bringing to the trial the previous course, the previous court.
A precedent has been set.
A precedent has been set by Kane versus Puss in Boots. By the people versus Puss in Boots. That's what that movie's kind of about at the start. Yeah. Here's what else I'll say, which is that often we look at these movies and we go, well, what is this movie? Does this movie take the things that Kane put into play and use them in a way that is, we just talked about it in Little Women. We just talked about it. I would argue that this movie is taking what predated Citizen Kane and using that still very, very well.
It's a very good way of looking at it. I like that.
Right? Because Citizen Kane is about depth of focus. It's kind of where that notion of what cinema looks like starts.
Yeah.
This movie is rooted in what Citizen Kane was breaking with, but still does that stuff really, really well. So this question is like bringing up this point that we've used to determine this question many times of like, does a movie even need to use what Citizen Kane developed to be better than it?
Yeah.
Right? Can a movie use what Citizen Kane was breaking away from and still use that so well that we like it more than we like Citizen Kane? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. The answer is yes.
Is this my rabbit? Yes. Okay.
So?
Okay. I really wasn't expecting this. I was expecting us to both go, yeah, but fuck it. We ball, I suppose, if we're still saying that in the year 2025. Local Hero is better than Citizen Kane.
We made it, folks. There it is.
I finally have my Puss in Boots.
You have your Puss in Boots. Congratulations.
Yay.
It's a great feeling.
It is. And we've been talking for, let me just check my notes here, 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah, let's wrap this up. It's midnight.
Let's wrap this up. It's midnight for Parker. He's got to go to bed, y'all.
I got to go to bed.
Next time, Parker, what is next time?
Next time, we are watching probably my favorite movie, maybe ever. We'll examine that when we get there. 1946's It's a Wonderful Life for the Christmas season.
Have we covered all 5 of your top 5 movies now with It's a Wonderful Life? It's a Wonderful Life, That Thing You Do, Porco Rosso, RRR.
Yeah. Little Women. Yeah.
Little Women.
There it is. The 5.
Beautiful.
We got to get some Mystery Train in here.
So this will actually be our last episode.
This is it. No. We're wrapping up.
No. I'm going to see It's a Wonderful Life in theaters for this.
Ooh, this is a good experience.
It's coming to the Broadway,
I've seen it in theaters a couple times, and it's
very nice. I look forward to revisiting the movie that gave me the local hero crisis, but in the bad way.
Yes.
Where I went, I yearn for community, and I don't think I have it. I don't think I'm good enough. Anyway, we'll talk about that next time. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and goodbye.
Bye.